Cheese. For decades, it's been painted as the villain of our diets. Too fatty, too salty, a direct line to heart disease. Doctors, diet books, even the evening news have warned us to stay away. And honestly, many of us believed it. But here's the shocking twist. What if I told you that not all cheese is harmful? In fact, there are 3 very specific cheeses that I've seen, time and time again, restore strength and mobility in older patients, people well into their 60s, 70s, even 80s. That flies in the face of everything we've been taught, doesn't it? The truth is, the biggest threat to your independence as you age isn't just arthritis, or even heart disease. It's something far quieter, more destructive, and rarely talked about. Sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. It sneaks up year after year, stripping away energy, balance, and confidence, until everyday tasks feel impossible. And here's where it gets interesting. Certain foods we've been told to avoid, can actually be powerful allies in fighting back. Cheeses rich in unique proteins, amino acids, and nutrients that literally switch muscle rebuilding back on. Imagine being able to climb stairs again without holding the railing, or carry groceries without struggling, simply by making smarter food choices. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 cheeses that science confirms can protect and rebuild aging muscles. But more than that, I'll reveal the exact timing, portions, and combinations that unlock their full potential. These are not things you'll find in medical textbooks. They're insights I've gained after decades of helping patients reclaim their strength. And to make this video easier to follow, I've added timestamps and titles for each section down in the description. That way, if there's a specific part you're most curious about, you can jump straight to it anytime. When we think about getting older, most of us picture gray hair, a few wrinkles, maybe forgetting where we left the car keys. But what almost no one talks about is something far more important: the slow loss of muscle. Doctors call it sarcopenia, but I like to think of it as a quiet thief that sneaks in when you least expect it, stealing your strength little by little. I remember one of my patients, a 72-year-old grandmother. Just half a year earlier, she was carrying laundry up the stairs, gardening, moving around with ease. But then, almost without noticing, everything started to feel harder. Each step left her winded. She began holding onto the railing, worried she might fall. Nothing bad had happened, no broken bones, no illness. Yet her body had changed. And the look in her eyes told me what she was really afraid of: losing her independence. That's the heartbreaking thing about sarcopenia. It doesn't make headlines. It doesn't give you a warning sign. It just creeps in, slowly taking away the little things that mean so much, like chasing after grandkids, going for long walks, or even carrying a bag of groceries without fear of stumbling. But here's the part I love to share. It doesn't have to stay that way. With the right food choices, even small ones, the body can bounce back. That same grandmother made just a few simple changes in her meals, and within 3 months, she walked into my office steadier, stronger, and smiling again. No new medications, no expensive treatments, just nourishing her body in the right way. And here's where it gets interesting. One of the foods that helped her most is something you've probably seen 100 times, maybe even dismissed as ordinary. But in reality, it's a quiet hero for aging muscles. Don't go anywhere, because in just a moment, I'm going to share the first cheese that can truly make a difference. Cheese number 1, cottage cheese. Just the name, cottage cheese, almost makes you think of something plain, bland, maybe even boring, right? It doesn't have the fancy reputation of brie or the sharp kick of cheddar. But here's the twist. That quiet, humble little tub sitting in the dairy aisle? It might just be one of the most powerful allies your muscles have as you get older. Sometimes the underdog holds the biggest surprise. Let's start with the basics. Half a cup of low-fat cottage cheese packs about 14 grams of high-quality protein, but only around 80 calories. That means almost 3/4 of its calories are pure protein, something even grilled chicken breast can't quite match on a calorie-for-calorie basis. And it's not just the amount that matters. Cottage cheese is loaded with leucine, an amino acid that acts like the ignition key for your muscle engine. Without enough leucine, your muscles just won't turn on to build and repair. For older adults who naturally need more leucine to trigger growth, this is a big deal. One serving of cottage cheese gets you about 1/3 of the way there. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Most protein foods, like chicken, salmon, or eggs, digest fairly quickly. That's not a bad thing, but it means your body uses the amino acids all at once. Cottage cheese, on the other hand, is rich in casein protein. Think of casein as a slow-release capsule for your muscles. Instead of dumping all the fuel at once, it trickles amino acids into your bloodstream over 6 to 8 hours. That's especially powerful at night. Eating a little cottage cheese before bed helps protect your muscles while you sleep, almost like having a quiet bodyguard working while you rest. And then there's the question of ease. Many older adults tell me they've lost their appetite for big cuts of meat, or chewing tougher foods has become more of a challenge. Cottage cheese slides right past those hurdles. It's soft, creamy, gentle on the stomach, and surprisingly versatile. One of my patients, a 68-year-old grandmother, had struggled for years because she didn't enjoy eating meat. We tried something simple, just half a cup of cottage cheese each morning. 3 months later, she proudly told me she could lift her rice pot again without asking her husband for help. That may not sound like much, but to her, it was a piece of independence given back. And if you're wondering how to actually eat it without getting bored, let me give you 3 quick ideas. First, blend it into a smoothie with berries and a drizzle of honey. You won't even taste the cottage cheese, but your muscles will thank you. Second, mix it into a fresh salad with cucumber, tomato, and herbs like dill or chives. It turns into this light, protein-packed lunch that feels refreshing, not heavy. And third, simply pair it with fruit, pineapple, peaches, or even sliced apple, for a sweet, creamy snack that feels indulgent but is secretly working overtime for your body. See what I mean? Not flashy, not complicated, but powerful in the ways that really matter. And trust me, this is just the warm-up. Because the next cheese we're going to talk about? It takes muscle support to another level and might just change the way you look at your entire diet. Stay with me. You won't want to miss it. Cheese number 2. Parmesan, the concentrated powerhouse. Most people think of Parmesan as nothing more than that sprinkle of cheese on top of a plate of pasta. But the truth is, Parmesan is so much more than a garnish. It's almost like a natural supplement disguised as food. A tiny, hard block that carries an incredible punch for your muscles, bones, and overall strength. Think of it as a dense little package of nutrition, built to do more than just flavor your spaghetti. Here's why. Parmesan is not only rich in protein, it's one of the most concentrated sources of calcium you can find in your kitchen. We often hear about calcium being important for bones, and that's absolutely true. But what's less talked about is that calcium is also essential for muscle contraction. Without it, your muscles can't fire properly. So when you grate Parmesan over your eggs or toss it into a soup, you're giving both your bones and your muscles the minerals they need to stay strong and responsive. Now here's another secret most people don't know. Parmesan is aged for months, sometimes even years. That long aging process breaks down the proteins into forms that are easier to digest. It also removes almost all the lactose, which means even people who normally struggle with dairy can often tolerate Parmesan without discomfort. So instead of being heavy on the stomach, it's actually gentle, delivering a rich load of nutrients without the side effects. And here's something I love to point out to my patients. You don't need a lot. Because it's so nutrient-dense, just a piece the size of your thumb is enough to make a real impact. That small amount brings protein, calcium, and flavor all in one bite. It's the kind of food that proves you don't always need more, you just need smarter choices. There's even research to back this up. Studies have shown that older adults who keep their calcium intake steady can reduce their risk of falls by nearly 40%. Think about that for a moment. A little bit of Parmesan each day, sprinkled on your meals, could be part of the reason you stay on your feet, independent and confident in your movements. That's a powerful return for something so simple. If you're going to buy Parmesan, though, here's a tip. Skip the powdered stuff in the green cans. Those are often processed and stripped of much of the goodness you're really looking for. Instead, go for a real wedge of Parmesan. It might cost a little more up front, but it will last you a long time, and the flavor and benefits are on another level. And don't worry, you don't need to sit down with a giant block of cheese. Think small, creative touches. Sprinkle it over scrambled eggs in the morning to boost your breakfast. Shave a little into a warm bowl of soup at lunchtime. It melts just enough to add richness without weighing you down. Or one of my personal favorites, pair a thin slice of Parmesan with a handful of walnuts. It makes a snack that feels indulgent but works like a shield against muscle loss. So yes, Parmesan may look tough and ordinary, but hidden inside that hard shell is concentrated strength, protein, calcium, and digestibility, all in one. It's a perfect example of how sometimes the most powerful solutions are the simplest ones. And if Parmesan is like a dense, compact vitamin in food form, wait until you hear about the next cheese. Because the one coming up isn't just supportive, it's like jet fuel for your muscles, helping your body absorb and use protein faster than you ever thought possible. Cheese number 3. Ricotta, the fast-acting fuel. Ricotta is one of those foods that almost feels like an accident, because technically it is. It's made from what most cheesemakers would normally throw away, the leftover liquid after making other cheeses. But here's the beautiful twist. What starts as a byproduct turns into a treasure, especially for older adults who want to keep their muscles strong and their hearts healthy. It's proof that sometimes the things we overlook end up holding the greatest value. Ricotta's secret lies in the kind of protein it carries, whey protein. Unlike casein, which works slowly over hours, whey gets absorbed quickly. It's like a fast delivery service for your muscles. Right after you've been moving around, whether that's a walk around the block, a light workout, or even just gardening, your muscles are extra hungry for repair. Whey protein feeds them almost immediately, helping rebuild tissue when your body needs it the most. And there's more. Ricotta is naturally rich in BCAAs, branched-chain amino acids. These are special because they skip the usual stop in the liver and head straight into your muscles. Imagine cutting out the middleman. That direct line means faster recovery, better strength, and less soreness after activity. For older adults, that can make the difference between waking up stiff and tired, or waking up ready to move with energy. Another reason I love ricotta, it's soft, creamy, and naturally low in salt. For anyone watching their heart health or blood pressure, that's a big win. Unlike some cheeses that are heavy on sodium, ricotta gives you nourishment without putting extra stress on your cardiovascular system. It's gentle, it's kind, and it fits so easily into daily meals. Science backs this up too. In one study, men over 65 who added ricotta to their diets for just 90 days showed significant improvements in both strength and balance. Think about that. Within 3 months, their ability to stand, walk, and steady themselves was noticeably better, all from adding a food that tastes like dessert. And speaking of taste, let's talk about how to enjoy it. One of my favorite ways is to spread ricotta on a slice of whole grain bread, drizzle it with a little honey, and sprinkle just a dash of cinnamon. It feels like a treat, but it's secretly working for your muscles and your heart. Another simple idea? Whip it with a spoonful of unsweetened cocoa powder and a touch of vanilla. You've got yourself a light chocolate mousse that feels indulgent but is actually nourishing. Let me ask you something. If you've always thought cheese was bad for your blood pressure, are you surprised to hear that ricotta, with its low sodium and high-quality protein, can actually support your heart health? It's one of those little facts that flips old beliefs upside down, and I love sharing it because it gives people hope. So there you have it. Ricotta, the fast fuel cheese that proves second chances can be powerful. From leftovers to life changer, it's a reminder that aging doesn't have to mean slowing down. With the right foods, you can keep moving, keep growing, and keep surprising yourself. But here's the thing. You've now seen the strength of all three cheeses. What really matters next isn't just what you eat, but how and when you eat them. That's the part almost no one talks about, and it can double the benefits if you know the secrets. And that's exactly what we'll uncover next. When it comes to building or preserving muscle, timing really does matter. It's not just about what you eat, but also when you eat it. And the truth is, most people get this part wrong without even realizing it. Let's start with the morning. After a whole night of sleep, your body has gone hours without food. That means your muscles are in a mild breakdown state. Your body has been using what little amino acids are left just to keep you going. A good breakfast with protein is like flipping the switch from losing to building. Even something as simple as a half cup of cottage cheese with fruit can be the signal your muscles have been waiting for. It's time to grow, not shrink. Another golden window comes right after movement. Whether it's a walk, some light stretching, or resistance training, your muscles are primed to soak up nutrients like a sponge. Eating a protein-rich food within an hour or so after activity helps repair tiny muscle fibers and makes you stronger the next time. This is where something quick and easy, like a spoonful of ricotta whipped into a snack, can make all the difference. And here's the part many people overlook: spreading protein evenly throughout the day. Research shows your body responds best when you aim for about 25 to 30 grams of protein at each meal. Too often, people skimp at breakfast and lunch, then overload at dinner. But eating 60 grams of protein all at once at night is like pouring one big bucket of water on a tree and then letting it go dry the rest of the day. The tree doesn't thrive, it struggles. Muscles work the same way. Consistency matters more than one big effort. Here's a simple routine to picture. In the morning, start your day with cottage cheese blended into a smoothie or paired with berries. It wakes up your muscles after the overnight fast. At lunch, shave a little Parmesan over a salad or soup. Just a thumb-sized piece gives you calcium and protein in one. Then, after your afternoon walk or light exercise, enjoy some ricotta with honey or cocoa powder. It's soft, quick to digest, and goes straight to work where your muscles need it most. When you think of it this way, protein stops feeling like a chore and starts becoming a rhythm, a gentle, steady stream of support for your body. And when you keep up that rhythm, you'll be amazed at how much stronger, steadier, and more energized you feel. Here's something powerful to remember. Food and movement are partners. One without the other only goes so far, but when you bring them together, that's when the magic really happens. And the best part? You don't need to spend hours at the gym or buy expensive equipment to see results. Just 2 or 3 times a week is enough. Think simple, everyday moves. Standing up from a chair and sitting back down, slowly, with control, does more for your legs than you might expect. Or placing your hands against a wall and gently pushing, like a wall push-up, to wake up your chest and arms. Even pulling on a resistance band while sitting on the couch can give your back and shoulders a healthy challenge. These movements may look small, but to your muscles, they're signals that say, stay alive, stay strong. Now here's where food comes in. Eating protein within 2 hours after activity acts like flipping on a light switch inside your body. It's almost as if your muscles are waiting with open doors, ready to let in every bit of nutrition you give them. A little cottage cheese, a shaving of Parmesan, or a spoonful of ricotta in that window doesn't just feed you, it rejuvenates you. Some scientists even call it a rejuvenation switch for muscle tissue, and that's exactly how it feels. And don't think age limits this. There's solid research showing that even adults in their 80s, when they combine simple resistance exercises with enough protein, still build new muscle. Imagine that. Well into your 8th decade of life, your body is still capable of growth and renewal. That's proof that it's never too late to start, and never too late to benefit. So here's the gentle truth. You don't need a pricey gym membership or fancy machines. All you really need is a sturdy chair, maybe a pair of light hand weights, or even water bottles, and a small piece of cheese waiting for you afterward. It's that simple. Movement to challenge the muscles, food to repair them, repeated with kindness a few times each week. Think of it like a dance. One step is activity, the other step is nourishment. Together they keep you balanced, steady, and moving forward. And once you feel that synergy working, it doesn't just change your muscles, it changes the way you carry yourself, the way you feel, the way you live. As wonderful as cheese can be for strength and vitality, it's also important to pause and remember that everyone's body is different. What feels like a boost for one person might need a little extra thought for someone else. So let's talk through a few gentle reminders, just to keep things safe and balanced. If you're someone living with high blood pressure, the type of cheese you choose really matters. Some cheeses can be surprisingly salty, and extra sodium is the last thing your heart needs. This is where ricotta and cottage cheese shine, especially the low-sodium versions. They're naturally lighter, softer, and kinder to your cardiovascular system. You still get the protein and nutrients without putting unnecessary pressure on your blood vessels. For those of you taking blood thinners, consistency is key. Cheese itself isn't dangerous, but what can be tricky is making sudden changes to your diet. Your body likes rhythm. It responds best when you're steady, not when you swing from eating none at all to having large amounts in one week. Think of it like a seesaw. Balance keeps you steady. Sudden shifts throw everything off. If cheese is part of your life, keep it as a gentle, regular presence rather than something that comes and goes. And if you're managing kidney disease, there's an extra layer to consider. Because protein, while wonderful for muscle, also asks your kidneys to do more work. Before adding extra servings of high-protein foods like cheese, it's always best to sit down with your doctor or dietitian. They can help you find the sweet spot. Enough to support your strength, but not so much that it adds stress where your body doesn't need it. Now here's some encouraging news. For years, many of us were told that cheese was a guilty pleasure, a danger to heart health. But large-scale studies are showing something different. When eaten in moderation, cheese does not increase the risk of heart disease the way we once feared. In fact, in balanced amounts, it can fit beautifully into a healthy lifestyle. That shift in understanding has been eye-opening, not just for researchers, but for everyday people who love food and want to age well. And when it comes to choosing cheese, a little mindfulness goes a long way. Look for options with fewer ingredients, milk, enzymes, maybe a touch of salt, and skip the ones loaded with preservatives or unnecessary additives. The simpler the label, the closer it is to what nature intended. Your body will thank you for choosing quality over quantity. At the end of the day, cheese isn't just food. It's fuel, comfort, and connection. But like all good things, it works best when it's enjoyed wisely, in a way that honors your unique health journey. Big changes don't happen overnight. They happen step by step, choice by choice, in the small moments that build up over time. So instead of thinking of cheese as just a snack or a flavor boost, let's turn it into part of a gentle 90-day journey toward more strength and energy. For the first week or two, keep things simple. Try each type of cheese, cottage, Parmesan, and ricotta, and notice how your body responds. Maybe you'll find that cottage cheese feels light and refreshing in the morning, or Parmesan adds just the right richness to lunch. These early days are about exploration, not perfection. Listen to your body. pay attention to how you feel, and discover which flavors and textures fit your life best. By weeks 3 through 6, start building some consistency. Aim for 2 to 3 servings spread across your day. A little cottage cheese in the morning, a sprinkle of Parmesan at lunch, a spoonful of ricotta after an afternoon walk. It's not about eating more. It's about spreading your protein so your muscles have a steady supply. Think of it as planting seeds throughout the day instead of dropping all the water on your garden at night. From week 7 onward, add in gentle movement. You don't need anything fancy, just the basics. Standing up and sitting down from a chair, wall push-ups, a short stroll after dinner. When you pair these small exercises with the right nutrition, you create a powerful synergy. Your muscles get both the challenge and the fuel they need to grow stronger. And here's the part that often surprises people. Track your progress. Not with complicated charts or numbers, but with the simple things that matter to you. Write down how your energy feels in the morning, how steady you feel carrying groceries, or whether climbing stairs is getting easier. These small notes become powerful proof of how far you've come. Now, imagine this. 90 days from now, you walk up a flight of stairs without reaching for the railing. You lift a heavy pot without asking for help. You notice a little more spring in your step, a little more confidence in your movements. That's the gift of consistency. The reward of tiny daily choices adding up to something life-changing. So give yourself those 90 days. One step, one meal, one moment at a time. Your future self will thank you. At the end of the day, sarcopenia doesn't have to be your destiny. With 3 simple allies, cottage cheese, Parmesan, and ricotta, plus the right timing and just a little movement, you can protect your muscles and hold on to the independence that makes life truly yours. I've seen it with my own eyes. Patients well into their 80s still exercising, still driving, still carrying their grandkids with a big smile. Not because they fought against aging, but because they nourished their bodies the right way. Age doesn't define your strength. It's your daily choices, the quiet, consistent habits that truly shape your future. So here's my invitation. Tomorrow morning, start with something as small as a cup of cottage cheese for breakfast. Give yourself 90 days. Notice how you move, how you feel, how much easier life can be when your muscles are on your side. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, share this with someone you love, and stay tuned. Because we'll keep uncovering the health secrets that most clinics never tell you. Your strongest years can still be ahead of you. Let's make it happen. Together.